So now we're going to have a little bit of a look at reading spreads, and if you grab your guidebook, you'll see in here that there's a bunch of my favorite spreads. These are all spreads that I do all the time. This isn't like I've just made up these random spreads for the guidebook. These are ones that I know and I love. They are tried and tested and true. And some of them, as you can see with the chakra spread, there's like a lot of cards there. What we're going to do in this video is we're going to do a one card reading. And I know that can sound a little bit like we're just going to pull one card, but with a deck like this, sometimes one card is all you need. Because with this oracle deck, we have each of the cards is a specific angel, god, goddess, ascended master. And there's a few different things that you can do with this deck. Well, there's many different things you can do with this deck. It's unlimited of what you can do. One of the things I really like to do is to just ask a question, pull a card, and ask this being for their guidance and ask them for their advice. I'm going to kind of show you how you can do that as well in this video. But please don't underestimate the power of the one card reading. I recently, actually, I love that Kuan Yin's come up while I talk about this. I did a live, what was it? A launch party, a live launch party for the Angels Among Us deck. And in preparation for that, I was pulling some cards and I pulled the Kuan Yin card and I just sat with it. And then suddenly I started to like go into this meditative space where I was seeing this heart activation, and it was like the opening of the pink lotus in the heart. And it was just this beautiful, beautiful thing. And I was like, we're going to do that in our meditation. So then in that call, I guided everybody through that process, and people were like, you know, really happy about it. It really, really worked for people. So don't underestimate how powerful pulling one card can be. You may end up with a beautiful heart-opening activation from Kuan Yin that you were not expecting. So let's do it. We're going to, you can grab your deck and do this with me if you like, or you can just watch. You can even grab a different deck if you don't have the Angels Among Us. But let's just hold the deck at the heart space and close your eyes if you're somewhere it's safe for you to do that. And let's take one big deep breath in together. So breathe in and breathe out. And then just center yourself, whatever that means to you. You may like to see your grounding cord or a cord of light going out from your root chakra or your feet into the ground. You may like to open up your crown chakra and send a beam of light up towards you. You may like to see your heart chakra opening and expanding. You may like to just call in any guides or angels that you would like to have with you. You may like to see yourself in a protective shield of light. These are just some ideas. You can do this or something else. It's all good. I'm going to take one more big deep breath, breathing in and breathing out. And then I just set the intention that everything that comes through in this reading is in alignment with my best and highest good and the best and highest good of all. And so it is. Takes a minute, less than a minute. Okay, so I'm going to formulate my question, and this is something that I actually talk a lot about this in my course, Be Your Own Oracle, about how to really formulate a question, because this can be something that ties us up in knots. And when you're asking questions that aren't very empowering, you can find yourself with not very empowering readings. So I'm going to just ask a really simple question, and I'm going to do a reading for you, whoever's watching this. And I'm just going to ask, what do we most need to know right now? What would be what would be a message that could come through for us that would be most supportive and most empowering in this moment for the people who are watching this video? And then I'm going to shuffle. And you know what? There is no rule, there is no law about how to shuffle your cards. You can shuffle however you like. I tend to shuffle like this with the oracle because it's quite big. But you can do whatever you like. And I think this is our card. Okay, so we have Merlin come through, And here we have the keywords alchemy, manifestation, and magician, which is really exciting. I'm absolutely loving this. So I've already got lots of, there's already a lot coming through that I can share with you, but I wanted to kind of share with you first what you can do with this one card. So you can sit down with Merlin and you can call Merlin in and you can say, right, Merlin, let's have a chat. It doesn't have to be like a massive ritual. You don't have to light a candle and sing a chant and do like a whole specific thing. You can just say, right, Merlin, I'm inviting you in. Can you please tell me what it is that you most want me to know right now? And just sit and listen. You can journal. You can, write at the top of the page, a message from Merlin, and you just write it out. Just write down whatever comes into your mind. You can, if you like, use these cards, and this is something that I do and I love to do. You can put them on your altar. You don't even have to use this deck as an oracle deck. You can use it as altar cards. So you could just say, oh, actually, I've pulled the Merlin card. You know what? I really need some Merlin energy today. I'm going to stick this on my desk and carry it with me through the day. And that can be everything that you need. So please use this deck however you like. Maybe you're somebody who has been on the spiritual path for a long time and you see Merlin and you're like, right, I'm going to go deep into meditation. I'm going to have this experience. We're going to connect deeply and I'm going to see what the magic of Merlin is for me today. Maybe you want to go into that place. It can be as simple or as advanced or complicated as you want it to be. There's no rules here. It's just whatever feels good and right for you. So some of the messages that I feel are coming in are really about manifestation and making it happen. This is the phrase that's coming through, making it happen. And I feel like Merlin's coming through because he wants to use this deck and me as an example for you. And I know many of you out there, you're already on this mission. You're already manifesting the things that you want in life. You're already on the path. But I feel like there's a couple people here who are watching this who are thinking, a couple of years ago, Vix was posting all of these deck reviews on her YouTube. And they were cool and interesting. But now she's got her own deck. Now she's been published. Now she's, doing other things, and she's doing more, and it's really cool to see that. And this is like a really good example of how manifestation works. So it didn't just happen overnight for me. I actually started my business like 8 years ago. So if you're like right at the beginning of your journey and you're like, I'm trying to manifest this thing, I'm trying to make it happen and it's not happening, and it's been like 2 weeks, it's okay. It doesn't mean it's not going to happen. Things take time. But use this creation of this deck as an example of what can happen and what you can create. This deck started off as a meditation that I had where I saw Archangel Raphael come in dressed in jeans and a t-shirt. And it's really interesting now when I tell that story, because at the time I was like, really? Like, is this it, Raphael? Like, is this how you show up? You just like, really? And as much as I thought it was quite cool, there was also a little part of me, a little voice that was kind of like, oh, I guess I'm not ever going to be able to be one of those people who has these like, crazy angel experiences. I guess that's not how I'm ever going to connect with angels. And I did feel a little bit sad about that. And it's really interesting that, actually that experience and that meditation at the time felt a little bit like a letdown in some ways. It's kind of like, oh, I guess that's cool. But actually that meditation helped me to get where I am now. So if Archangel Raphael had said at the time, well, the reason I'm coming through this way is because you're going to do a deck and you're all going to be appearing as like normal people and it's going to be this and that and whatever, I either would have probably just been like, what? Or I would have been like, okay, that's a lot of pressure. I got to go and create this deck now. It needed to be the right timing. But there's just this message coming through from Merlin for you to not give up on your dreams and to keep going if it still feels good, if it still feels like what you want to create. We all have the power to manifest things in our life. We are not going to be able to manifest anything. I don't believe that's true. And you might not like that message. You might be a little bit sad about that. But there is a limit. And I like to refer to this as the highest destiny. And I feel like we all have the potential to reach our personal highest destiny. For example, I'm never going to be a gymnast, okay? That's not going to happen for me. I'm not going to be a professional dancer. It's not going to happen for me. I don't have the right body. I have some things going on physically that are not that are going to prevent me from doing that right now. And some people may say that that's limiting thoughts or whatever. But there's a lot of reasons that we can't do things. I'm not going to be an astronaut, okay? Like it's not me. It's not going to happen. That doesn't mean that I can't reach my fullest potential in this life, in this body, as this person. And so there's a message coming through from Merlin for all of you, for all of us, to look for the highest potential that we can reach and to look at what we want to manifest for ourselves, what feels good for you. And this is another thing that I'm really passionate about talking about, is to check in with your manifestations, okay? We are powerful manifestors. We can create things, but sometimes we create things that we don't really want, we just think we want. And we're all very programmed by culture, society, Instagram, TikTok, all of these things that we're looking at daily or often, very often, and we're seeing all of these things that are like, oh, you need this and you need that and you need this other thing. And so we start to manifest certain things for our lives that maybe if we stop and pause and we just check in and we just ask, is this really in alignment with my best and highest good? We might realize, actually, no, I don't want to put my energy into manifesting that. I want to manifest this. So this is a second message from Merlin. First message is, use this deck and use my story as inspiration for you, for whatever you want to create in the world, whatever you want to do, whatever your version of, I wanted to create an oracle deck. What's your version of that? Use this as an example that yes, it can happen. But also make sure that you're checking in with yourself and asking, is that for me? Is that really what I want? So that ended up being quite long. But I felt like that actually turned into, started off as like, we're going to do a one-card reading with the deck. And now we suddenly have this massive message coming through about manifestation. But I think it's a really, like, I would love to talk with you in the comments about this topic of manifestation, because I really love this highest destiny way of seeing it. It's not that everybody can manifest, $8 billion. It's that we can manifest what it is that our soul and heart most wants. And I think that so many of us are becoming just more and more conscious as well about that and about what it really is that we really do want and need. And so one of the things I really wanted to manifest was this deck. And that came from a place of, I want to create something that's useful for people, that serves people, that excites me and lights me up as well, but something that's really useful for the world. And so I invite you to think about what it is that you're manifesting, what are you working on, and how is that useful? How does it light you up, and how is it useful for others? Okay. So that is, that's the end of our little series on the Angels Among Us Oracle. If there's anything else that you want to see, if there are specific cards that you want to see, I'll show you a few more while I'm talking us out. If there is a spread in the book that you want me to show an example of, if you have any questions about how to use this deck, please ask me in the comments. I'll either reply to you there or I may make some more of these videos. Let's chat, let's connect. I'd love to know what you think of the deck. I'd love to know how you're finding using it. And I'd really love to support you if you have any other questions about how you can use it and how it can support you on your journey. So this was the Angels Among Us Oracle by me, yay! Artwork by Ellie Grant. She is just amazing and published by Rockpool Publishing. It's out now. You can grab it anywhere that you buy your Oracle decks. It's available on Amazon, Booktopia, Book Depository, Wordery, Barnes & Noble, all the usual places if you would like to get yourself a copy. And I look forward to hearing from you about how your journey goes with this deck. And I'm just sending you so much love and light.